Dave Roberts, Dodgers manager. Won a World Series as a player with the Red Sox and as the Dodgers manager and former National League Manager of the Year. Joining us from spring training. Dave, good to have you back on. How did the sort of abbreviated spring training affect your approach on how you're going to get everybody ready?
You know, DP, it was different. It was a frenzy. There was a lot of trust that had to be kind of accounted for because we couldn't talk to the players, and we just had to hope that they were going to be ready, starting pitchers in particular. And so once we get there, it's kind of an overall conversation, assessment, and see where guys are at. But with our guys, to a man, it's been really good. And, you know, whether it's Clayton or Walker, you know, guys are putting their work built up, and it's been good. But obviously, and we'll get to Freddie later, but I know that, you know, Freddie, just kind of getting his feet wet, so he's kind of a late arrival to camp. But guys like that. But right now, we're kind of on track.
How are you told that the Dodgers are signing Freddie Freeman?
So I kind of joke, DP, that it was kind of the worst-kept secret in all of baseball. And I say that in a sense that it's something that I think everyone wanted, and we were involved in trying to make it work. And then you know, once that Olsen trade went down, I was with Andrew, and we were going over our roster and some other baseball ops guys upstairs. It's kind of about maybe 10 o'clock at night, and so we finalized the deal that night. So Andrew and I called Freddie together and congratulated him, and I know he was thrilled. And just to get him in that Dodger uniform, man, it's pretty special.
Didn't he show up in a suit holding his baseball glove?
Yes, he did. So the funny thing is that he had a suit. He had some like suede boots or some shoes on. So this is the Bobby Cox pedigree, man. It's you know, you're tight, classy, and all dressed up. So I think it was JT and some other guys that gave him a lot of grief. And he was laughing. He goes, "Okay, I'm going to fit in just fine here in this with this organization."
I was wondering about Clayton Kershaw when I saw the deal. It felt like it was a team-friendly deal, and it was a one-year deal, and it feels like this might be year to year with Clayton, or am I reading too much into this?
I think that it's fair as far as a year-to-year situation. I think right now he's in a position where he can dictate where he wants to play, and obviously he's a Dodger for life, a Dodger legend. But Texas is home, and so that's been kind of made public. But right now he's a Dodger for this year. We'll see what happens next year. And I think that there's some incentives in there, but obviously the player Clayton liked the deal, and there's something to be said for being a Dodger.
So you could see him. It's not out of the realm of possibilities that he could end his career as a Texas Ranger.
You know what? With Clayton, I don't want to speak for him, DP, but I could see that that's a possibility. But that's up to him and Ellen. So, and I don't know that answer. Did
you go to football games this past year?
I did. I went to my first Rams game, and so I saw that NFC championship game, and then I actually had a chance to go to the Super Bowl as well. So pretty remarkable stadium and crazy vibe. It was awesome.
Well, I know you're a football guy. You've talked about that before. You know, do you look out there and go, how could I possibly think that I would want to play that sport professionally?
Oh, absolutely. That was the best decision I made, is to get off the gridiron and get on the baseball diamond. I had a chance to meet Ndamukong Suh a couple years ago at Dodger Stadium, and I just see this guy, knowing that he's got me by probably 150 pounds, and he can outrun me. So that's what you're dealing with in the NFL, man. It's crazy.
Are you up on all the rule changes?
No, you want to fill me in?
No, I have a cheat sheet that's helping me a little bit, and then I know there's a Shohei Ohtani rule that's in there, and it seems to be a lot going on. How do you keep all of this sorted out?
You know what? I got a bench coach, Bob Garrett. He's the rules guy, Danny, and I have no idea, man. It seems like they change all the time, and there's going to be something that's going to be implemented here in about a week, or maybe April 6th. The day before opening day. I don't know. I got enough on my plate to worry about these. Until it's cemented, I really don't pay too much attention.
Do you think that we're going to see more players try to do what Shohei Ohtani's doing?
No, because I don't think that they can. I think in theory, I think every player wishes they can be Shohei Ohtani, but there's a reason why he's.
But maybe 10 years from now, though, Dave, that you're almost preparing for. Usually, your best player is a pitcher and a shortstop, and so I don't know if we would see a 12-year-old go, I plan on pitching and hitting, and playing the field in the majors.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's fair. I guess that's fair because I think that right now you look at a little bit of a broader look as far as travel ball, and where now when I played, there was no such thing as a PO, and a PO, I guess, is a pitcher only, and so. When you came up, we kind of pitch, play. The best player is certainly going to pitch at some point. So certainly Shohei is a superstar, is a face, one of the faces of Major League Baseball. So yeah, people might try to emulate. If you look 10 years down the road, potentially might give players some more runway to do that, which would be great. But man, that Shohei is really special.
He's Dave Roberts, Dodgers manager, joining us, Dan Patrick Show. You hit 23 home runs. Is that right in your career?
Hey, but you forgot the one postseason homer. So let's for the sake of this discussion, I had 24 major league homers.
Okay, all right.
And
so
2 inside the Parkers.
You averaged 2.4 home runs per year. You had problems with your launch angle, didn't you, Dave?
I absolutely. It was more negative launch angle, so that's just not good. So it just certainly affected my WAR, I'm sure.
And you hit 8 home runs in 2005. Were you juicing back then? There were a lot of questions about that.
You know what? I wasn't. I just I was ahead of the analytics thing and the launch angle. So I think my angle was maybe like 21 degrees that year. So yeah, I clipped a few.
Best pitcher you hit a home run off of?
Kurt Schilling.
And I bet you remember the at-bat. I'll bet you remember the at-bat.
It was at the old Bob, Bank One ballpark.
Okay.
And it was a 3-run homer, and he threw me a 3-1 heater, and it was pretty cool. Yeah.
Do you ever bring up any of these things to, now that you're not playing anymore? But when you run into somebody, like if you saw Schilling, would he know that you knew that you took him deep?
So Schilling definitely knows. We've talked about it in the past. I got another good one for you, right. DP. So I was in Double-A in Jacksonville playing for the Jacksonville Suns, and this was 1998. So John Smoltz was on rehab with the Braves. He comes down and pitches for the Greenville Braves playing. We were hosting. And so first inning, I hit a homer off John Smoltz. So that's the biggest one I've ever hit, but it wasn't a big league homer. So the funny thing is that after the game, I had John Smoltz sign the ball.
Oh.
I still have it to this day, and I bring it up to him maybe every other time I see him, and he's not too thrilled about it.
Yeah, you normally don't get a baseball signed. It'd be like if you picked off Tom Brady and you said, Tom, would you autograph this? I can't imagine. You imagine if you homered off Randy Johnson and you said, hey, Randy, would you be willing to sign this? The next time you got up to the plate.
I hear you, but I've already. So the thing is that I bet that does happen with Brady, and I need you to dig on that. And the other part of it is that I didn't get the chance to hit the homer off Randy because he drilled me in the ribs anyway. So so I got the repercussion of getting hit by Randy. I guess I could have had him sign that ball.
What did it feel like?
I still feel it. It was 97 two-seamer. And it was opening day, maybe 2003. I tried a bunt, and then the ball went foul. And Juan Pierre always told me, he said, hey, man, if you try to bunt off Randy, he's like the Nolan Ryan guy, where if you bunt, you better make it fair, because if you don't, the next one's going to be in your ribs. And I swear, Danny, it was like he's up there with this big black glove right under his eyes, and you got that visual. And I think I swear it was like the Top Gun radar lock right on my ribs, and I could just sense it. And then it was heat-seeking 97 two-seamer just running right into my ribs. So it like I said, man, it hurt pretty bad, but I stayed in the game.
Why is that okay in baseball?
I think it's okay because Randy's Randy, Nolan's Nolan, Roger was Roger, and I think Pedro's pitch. I think part of it is like the fear of the baseball for the pitcher is everything, and so guys are kind of Barry Bonds up with the big old elbow guards, and they got the protection all over the place, and that's still gamesmanship. I still believe that you got to be able to control pitching inside, commanding it, but I think at times, to get hit once in a while, it's part of the game.
The Dodgers will win the World Series if
we play a full season and there is a postseason.
Wait.
We are winning the World Series in 2022. But I know where you're going with that.
No,
we're winning the World Series this year. Put it on record.
You are winning the World Series.
We are winning the World Series. That's our focus. That's our goal. But to your question, we are winning the World Series if our starting staff stays healthy. I know that's vague, but I don't want to.
And then
that's my answer.
Okay, but you
can dig in a little bit on that, but I think it's about our starting pitching. Just keeping our guys healthy.
Okay, where do you rank your rotation in baseball?
Our rotation in baseball, I put us somewhere in the. I put us somewhere in the top 10.
Okay, who has the best rotation in baseball?
I would say, right now for me, I think the Mets do.
What makes DeGrom so special?
The velocity, the command, the glove side command of his fastball, his ability to pitch up in the zone. There's a breaking ball in there. There's a changeup in there. It's a great throw. It's just hard to pick up from what I hear. But I think that glove side command coming in on left-handers up and in, that quadrant up and away to the right-hander, it's just tough to barrel up.
Is he the best pitcher in the game?
If you look at sheer kind of numbers, I would say it's hard to debate.
Yeah.
But the body of work that our guy, Walker Buehler, should be in that conversation.
So you're guaranteeing that you're going to win the World Series this year?
I'm putting it out there. I'm putting it in the universe.
Well, you should believe in your team. I mean, if you said, well...
You absolutely should.
Right? I mean, it's nothing like you're, we're placing a bet and you could lose a limb if you don't win the World Series.
That's right. That's right.
And I'm not rooting against you, or I would bet you just for content's sake on the show. But, I mean, I don't know. Like, we could bet wine, but, I love your wine. I don't have any wine. So you...
Yeah, I need to. I went to dinner with our buddy Ted, so we got to get you some more wine. So Ted's my guy. He's your guy, and we need to do a little wine deal. So we got to replenish your wine stash.
I am the Jacob deGrom of wine drinking. Yeah.
I love that.
Just letting you know. I could be Kershaw on year to year because at my age I am, day to day. But yeah, by the way, just so, and Dave won't bring this up, but I'm bringing it up. His Red Stitch Pinot, 93 points from Wine Spectator. It's great. Did you give your players your wine?
So I've got a few cases en route. So once we break here, we get to Dodger Stadium, I'm going to take care of my guys. So we got a lot of wine drinkers, which is just interesting because when I came up, there was all about the beer. And so we got a lot of wine drinkers. So I got to share some of my Red Stitch. Absolutely.
And you couldn't do that with the old Red Sox because they would drink that prior to the game, probably.
So, yeah, you're right. Hey, but Danny, you got to have something to calm the nerves, man. So it wasn't wine in 2004, but whatever we drank, it worked, right?
Was it whiskey?
It was whiskey.
Yeah. Do you remember the brand of whiskey?
I don't. But I do know that, when it's like 37 degrees and it's freezing and you're in Fenway Park, your back's against the wall, whatever, everything's on the table.
Hey, if I was facing Mariano Rivera, I'd probably drink too.
Oh, absolutely. Kevin Millar had it right. He was a man way ahead of his time.
Hey, great to talk to you as always. And thanks for joining us.
All right,
Hopefully we'll talk soon.
All right, DP, take care. You're the best.
That's Dave Roberts, Dodgers manager.